when other people start up, like new hires, this would be awesome to be able to reference back to.
Perfect. The recording already started. Awesome. All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
So before
everyone, the mess on the phone. There you go.
We will make sure you're over.
See my face?
We can
I'm about
see
to
you.
turn my webcam, so just wanted to say hi to everyone, and then, thank you so much for attending. So please don't hate me at the end of the session, because I was reviewing some of the live chat sessions, and I'm going to use it as a case scenarios here for this training. Let me my webcam so that I can have a faster session. All right, guys. So we started this FormaChat. Let's see, probably in 2016 or 17. And we started with a tool. We purchased a tool, we implemented it, and then we tested for 6 months, and it was surprisingly good. Robert might remember. Probably we started the live chat before Debbie. Debbie may not. But after that, we realized that, hey, why don't we have our own live chat tool? Because this live chat tool is not actually working for us. We have a sales team for every region, and then people don't like to pick up the chats coming from other regions. So then at that time, we had a developer. We created our own live chat tool. We called it FormaChat. So what does FormaChat different than the other live chat tools is obviously detecting visitor location is one thing, and then picking the right DC or the DS team. Obviously, there are multiple scenarios. What if that sales team is not online? Or what if they don't pick it up? What happens? I'm going to explain all that, and probably you already know most of it. But another thing this live chat tool can do is with one login, you'll be able to access the live chat to all websites. So we already have one for ET, and the West Coast team already receives the incoming chats. Oh, actually, everybody should be receiving chats from Epoxy stuff. So I need to check with Mayan if it is there, but so hopefully we're launching the Formaspace contract also this week, cross figures. So if that happens, one of the first things we're going to do is implementing the live chat for Formaspace contract as well. And another thing we implemented for FormaChat is in the past, people used to create the leads manually. When they receive a chat, they just go into Sugar CRM and create the lead. And obviously, there were a lot of leads, we're losing in transition because people don't want to create the lead for other teams, or they just too busy to create a lead, and they leave it, for a later time, and they forget. Obviously, we're human. So we implemented this NetSuite implementation. Previously, it was Sugar CRM, and with literally, with a few clicks, you can just send the lead to NetSuite. It's really easy. That way we don't lose any lead. And there are a couple other benefits with FormaChat, but I'm not going to go in. But let's talk about the goals with FormaChat, because I'm going to share some numbers. And it is pretty disappointing in the past few months that we're not generating enough leads through FormaChat. And I believe having this training session, we're going to go back on track, because 90% of those sessions, we could have easily generated the lead. So what is the goal? The ultimate goal here is getting contact information. It's not giving our email address. It's not sending that to the configure tool, but it is helping them and getting the contact information. And obviously, for some cases, especially in the past, this was a big thing. We're getting a lot of irrelevant opportunities. And with live chat, we were able to detect that and disqualify them within a matter of seconds or minutes. So, the other goal here is helping visitors, make them feel like they're helped, they're supported. We answer all their questions, even if it's not coming from our own region. So again, getting their contact information is our ultimate goal from live chat, through live chat. Before we start, let's also define what is a lead. A lead is a visitor who inquires our products and services and leaves their contact information, either email, phone number, or both. So if you have those both criteria, then you have a lead. So we have to create a lead on NetSuite when that happens. This was on the company handbook, I believe. It dictates that we need to create leads within 2 hours after receiving, if it is received during business hours. So I'm just, merely sharing what's written on the employee handbook. So looking at here, obviously these numbers has changed a lot, but in 2018, we were receiving around 200 live chat sessions, 200 people visited chat. It was 2017. And around 2018, until August, until we launched a new website, this number was even higher. And after new website, we had to pause live chat for a while. The numbers went down, and then, for the new website, we had to read the entire live chat tool. And, we're still at, you guys can tell me better, but we're still at a few hundreds live chat sessions per month level. So that's an amazing number. I mean, we should be, generating a lot of leads, right? And to be honest with you, we used to generate 10 to 20% of all the leads we drive through the website, but through live chat. So that was an amazing number. And you can look at the numbers here. Like in 2017, we were generating, and some months it was 65, 67. So it looks like the average was around 50. So where are we at these days? So it's 10, 15, 5 per month. This is pretty low. So the purpose of this session is hopefully pick up where we left and then get your feedback, see if it is anything marketing can do to make this experience better for you guys, and then, continue generating leads. All right, so I'm not going to go into details because as far as I can tell, you all know how to use the live chat panel, but I'm going to share this PowerPoint presentation with you guys so that you can go back anytime you need. And I pretty much explain every single icon, every single thing on that live chat session here on this presentation, and you can refer to it whenever you need help. So skip this also. Online visitor section. Obviously, here you can see who is on which page, how many seconds, when was the last time they were active, and you can even send them a message while they're on the website surfing through pages if you want to. Obviously, if you have time, you can always do that. It's not guaranteed that they're going to respond, but you can, using this online visitor panel, you can actually connect with people. And let's see, I'm skipping all these information because honestly, I don't want to lose time explaining every icon, and I've been only given 30 minutes. So one thing I asked Bayan to enable, because I realized yesterday that it's not enabled for the sales agent, is the setting portion. And from setting portion, what you can do is actually you can create CAN messages. So what is it? The CAN messages is actually, let's say, maybe you have a standard welcome message, or maybe you want to create a goodbye message at the end of your live chats, and then you don't want to type it from scratch every time. And what you can do is, using this CAN message section, you can create those messages and save them. And then when chatting with people, as you can see on the left bottom corner, you can drop down, list all the previously created CAN messages, and then you can boom, select it, and then paste it to the conversation. That kind of saves your time, and hopefully you'll find it helpful also, and then create a few. But first we need to enable it for the new live chat. So move forward. I'm skipping all these explanations. So obviously you know the difference between pending chats, active chats, and you know how to answer them. There's icons, which one to click, and that rounded icon, if you click on it, you can actually sneak into someone else's live chat session without them seeing you reading their sessions. The second green icon is creating a tab. The third icon is opening a new window. You know, whichever is convenient for you, you can basically select it. But there's one thing that I need to explain here is every time you're away from your computer, it is extremely important that you log out from live chat, or at least change your status to offline.
That is important for people.
Yeah, that way your region won't ring, and then the visitor won't wait unnecessarily someone to pick it up. Because the system work is, even if we have one live chat agent online, the system goes online. And if someone leaves their live chat online and leaves for the day, what's going to happen is the system will continue to stay online until 6:30 p.m. So we were able to tweak the code and then have a cutoff time and then go offline at 6:30. But for that 1.5 hours, our system will still look like online, and people will try to chat with us because, you know, the business hours doesn't end for West Coast until what, 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. They're 2 hours behind us, right? So please log out or go offline when you are away from desk, and when you're back, please go online again. Here I explain how the visitor sees. I'm pretty sure you've seen this windows when you visit formaspace.com from your home computer, because this live chat is disabled for our local IP. But there are two ways to enter live chat for visitors. One is by just clicking on that icon on the right bottom corner and then entering their name, email address, and message. So this is important, guys. They can voluntarily enter the live chat, or there is a triggered message. Like after 30 seconds or so, we show a triggered message saying, hey, do you need help? And if they click no, nothing happens. But if they click yes, then we send that message to the live chat pool, and then I'll explain the rules. And then you guys can pick up, accept the live chat. So again, if they enter voluntarily, then you will see the name on the live chat screen. If you look at the screenshot, close to the left-hand side, the name is Ray Busby. So what it means is, if I can see the name, there is 100% the email address is also here. If you see the middle section of that screen, next to email, we have the email address. So let's say if they accidentally leave the conversation, or you forgot to ask their contact information, but they are inquiring about a product, hey, you have the contact information, you have everything you need to create a lead on NestSuite, and please do create leads if that's the case. But when a visitor enters through a triggered message, what we see as the name is visitor. So not necessarily a name, it's just the visitor, a generic name we see. So this is the triggered message. And by the way, for the triggered message, we also developed a way that we detect the visitor's location, and we show a select sales agent, usually a DS's picture and the name for that region, so that when the visitor enters the live chat, the name doesn't change that much. Because usually, well, for West Coast team, actually, both or the Midwest also, both DSs are usually online. But it's some kind of familiarity, because the name is, when they see the name, for example, Katrina, they usually start the live chat with referring to that person's name, and then if Katrina is responding, that doesn't create a confusion. So anyway, so one thing that I want to pull your attention here is, be careful when you accept the live chat. Don't automatically ask how may I help you? Because maybe they already asked the question. Just read what they typed after yes before, typing how may I help you. All right, we don't want to come up with redundant questions and then drag the conversation. All right, we're just going to go into the perfect way to answer the live chats, but just wanted to give you a heads up. So for triggered message, they usually start with yes because they answer the question here, and then usually the next thing they do is type in their question while you're accepting the live chat. All right, so this is again from the visitor angle. I'm going to skip that. And this is again how they can close or even attach a file. So you can ask visitors to attach a file if they need to share something during the live chat. It's really easy. All they need to do is open the drop down by clicking on that settings icon and then selecting the attachment. All right, the attach icon, which is all right. Oh, sorry. This is the old. Can I pause it? Yeah. This is the old live chat ringtone. I don't know if it is the same thing, but so usually the previous agents, they were having this problem. Oh, I don't see if the live chat is coming. And what they were doing is maybe they were muting their computers, or they even if they are logged in, they weren't checking their live chat screen. And what we did throughout the time, first we implemented this common area TV. So when a live chat, incoming live chat goes to the pool, I'm going to explain what do I mean by going to the pool in coming slides. Goes to the pool, that TV starts ringing. It means it rings for everyone in sales team. So please do pick it up. Don't wait for someone else to pick it up when you hear that ringing tone. And another thing we do is we usually recommend using Chrome, but with Mayan, we also implemented the same pop-up for Firefox. So if you are using one of those browsers, there will be a pop-up on your screen. So and saying new chat request, and if you click on that window, it should take you to that specific live chat session. All right. And but here's the thing, guys. If the pop-up is not working for you, please let Bayan know. He needs to enable a few things on their browser settings. So without that, you won't be able to see those pop-ups. And another thing is, this, by the way, pop-ups doesn't work for the what is that? Explorer. Sorry. And also for the taskbar, when there's an incoming live chat, you're gonna see the browser is blinking for Chrome. So that's another way to notify you there's an incoming live chat. But again, have your volume on at all times. That's the best way to hear incoming live chat. All right. So I'm gonna skip that. You guys know how to accept the live chat, and obviously the color of the live chat changes if it is sitting there longer than normal. So this is explaining the canned messages. We should be able to whisper each other, without the, if let's say, if you're in a live chat session and if your manager logs into the same live chat, you can whisper, or the manager whisper to the DS saying that, hey, you better tell this or tell that, and the visitor won't see that whispered message. So let's see. Let's talk about the scenario. Before we go into the scenarios, I want to explain how the live chat works. So let's consider we receive a live chat from Houston, Texas. And Houston, Texas is a Midwest Teams region. So what's going to happen is the system will check if anyone is online from Midwest. And if anyone from that team is not in an active chat, then his or her computer will start ringing for 30 seconds. And if that person or if that team doesn't answer in 30 seconds, then the chat will go to the pool. And then the pool will start ringing until someone picks it up. So the other scenario is, let's say the Midwest team, again, this chat is coming from Houston, and the Midwest team is online, but everyone in the Midwest team is chatting with someone else. So what's going to happen is we're going to ring once every 30 seconds, and after 60 seconds, the live chat goes to the pool. And the third scenario is the visitor is coming from Midwest, but no one is online, and immediately that incoming live chat will go to the pool and will start ringing everyone. So what is the best way to handle the live chat sessions? Well, as you know, as we mentioned at the beginning, they usually start with a question. They obviously that's the only reason they would enter to live chat, right? They have a question about a product, or there is an ongoing project that they need to ask questions, or whatever that might be. The best way to start your conversation is having a positive attitude, like, yes, we can, yes, I can. And then the next thing you should be asking is their name, because we're trying to connect with those people. We're trying to refer to them with their name so that they can see that we're not a chatbot and we are a real human being on the other side of the screen. And when it's time to ask their contact information, they will trust us and then share their contact information with us, because again, that's the ultimate goal. And the reason we start with the name so that we can engage with that person. So, the next thing we do is, after we learn the name, is helping them. We're not there to help us. So we should never, ever ask which region you're from, which state you're from, because that question is intended to figure out who they belong to so that they can just pass the contact information of that sales team and, jump onto whatever they are busy with. No, we're there to help with their problem. So next, continue asking, qualifying questions. See if it is an actual opportunity or if it is an irrelevant opportunity. So if that's the case, we're going to disqualify them without losing too much time and end the chat. But if it is a valid request, inquiry about a product or a service, then we try to help as much as we can. And when the time is right, we're going to ask their contact information. So, and after that, obviously, if you want to take it one step further, is, after getting their contact information, you may want to schedule a call or an appointment on that spot and put it in the calendar for that sales team. So, this is the best way to handle a live chat. So again, let's summarize it. So what do we do first? We don't prematurely ask, how may I help you? First, we read what they type. Maybe they already asked the question. And then after that, we'll keep a positive attitude, and then we'll respond with, yes, we can help you, and then ask their name. Once we have their name, we expand the conversation, try to understand if it is a valid opportunity, try to help them as much as we can. And when the time is right, without pushing too hard, we need their contact information, the email address, the phone number, whatever they're comfortable with sharing. There will be cases that they won't give you their contact information, saying that, oh, I don't want to get into your mailing list. They may say that. It's, use your judgment and do whatever is necessary there. We're at the end trying to help them. If the only way to keep them in the conversation is sharing your contact, then do share your contact. But I would say the goal here is getting their contact information. And, and after that, obviously, now, if you have a valid inquiry and if you have the contact information, before moving on to the next subject, please create the lead. So how do we create the lead? It's really easy. After the conversation ended, there's a next suite button on the right top corner of every live chat window, and then click on that. And then after clicking on that, just one by one, select all the fields. which team it is assigned to, the first name, the last name, company, email address, and if you have the phone number, add the phone number. Sometimes maybe you only have phone number but not an email address, and if that's the case, just type any email address there. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is, in Sugar CRM, we were able to create a lead without having any of these fields mandatory. But with NetSuite, we have to have those fields. Otherwise, the system fails and we cannot create a lead. So that's the only reason we mark those fields as mandatory. So, if you don't have it and if it's not a deal breaker, please just type something in those fields so that we don't send it blank. But those are the required fields. So also in the description area, we automatically add the entire live chat session, so whoever picks it up and converts that lead can see the actual conversation. But if you just put the cursor at the beginning, you can still add your custom notes if there are any. And after that, with one click, you just click on the create lead and boom, it's in NetSuite. There's nothing else you need to do. So far, do you guys have any questions?
It does not appear they do, Mehmet.
All right. By the way, when you're creating the lead, you're not going to be able to see the lead created by, but when you go back from the chat list, and then you can actually see who created that lead. We automatically edit page is refreshed. Why this is important? Because the marketing team still goes into those live chat sessions and creates reports time to time. And I'm going to share the things we track, but I don't know if you ever use the FormaChat chat list, but for every lead that is created, we also add an icon at the end of the row so that we can easily see that conversation was sent to NetSuite as a lead. And again, so let's repeat. What are the do's and don'ts for FormaChat? So please read. If visitor already asked a question, please start your conversation with a positive attitude. Yes, we can. And please type promptly and accurate, because at the end of the day, you're representing Formaspace, and you don't want to have a lot of typos or grammatical errors, and and also prompt part is very important. You shouldn't write 10 rows of a paragraph. Keep live chat really, when you're responding, keep your answers short. If you need to respond, if you need to have a long response, then keep enter a few times throughout that, typing session, so that, the other party doesn't wait for you for 60 seconds or 90 seconds until you finish your paragraph. So, and also, if you don't know, then you don't know. Ask them, hey, can I have a minute so that I can check with my manager, or I can check with my design team, or whatever. And also, don't just disappear for minutes. If you're asking someone, try to go back to the live chat session every 30 seconds and then tell them, hey, I'm still looking for your answer. Please hold on. And, and obviously communicate in a professional manner, always. So what are the don'ts? And don't leave a chat at pending because it's not coming from your region. If it is ringing, as soon as you hear or see, you should pick it up. And don't ever leave a lead without converting. So we already described what is a lead, right? If it is qualified as a lead, then take that extra 30 seconds and send it to NetSuite. And please don't ever walk away from your desk logged into live chat. Don't leave your live chat online. Either set it to offline or log out, and when you're back, you can set it back to online. And please don't mute your computer, because that's the best way of hearing the incoming live chat notifications. All right, so now I'm going to show around 10-15 scenarios, and hopefully that will help us, as we move forward, so that we're going to generate more leads. So the first scenario is pay attention. When you enter the live chat, if the name is there instead of a visitor, that means you already have their email address. That could be really handy. Just keep it in mind. See, it is on the right-hand side. The email is already there. So let's say if the conversation ended for some reason, you can still create a lead if there's a valid product inquiry. So, but you may still ask their phone number in case you need to call them. So next thing. So here, for example, there is an example. Ethan had this conversation, and obviously the customer asked for a product, a workbench. It is a valid inquiry, but somehow Ethan was late to join the conversation, and he thought that it is a lost case, and maybe ignore this conversation, but instead we could have created a lead here because we already have the email address, we already have the name, and we could have just sent it to NetSuite. Another one here. So what I say is marketing spends a lot of effort bringing leads to you guys, and obviously we also spend a lot of money. If this live chat session is coming from Google Ads, we're pretty much paying $150 to $200 for every valid inquiry. So what it means is every lead is important for us. And let's say you have a valid a very good conversation with a visitor who's asking for a product, but somehow they got disconnected. That you have the name, you have the company, and please do check with marketing. We can easily find that contact information for you, and then we can create a lead with that. So just keep that option in mind. So this is a mild suggestion. Please don't close the live chat before they do. Sometimes you can see the message says that visitor has left the chat. That's not usually the case. Maybe they just opened the page in a different tab. When that happens, maybe they are still on FormaChat, when they're still on formaspace.com, and maybe they switch to another tab, and on our screen it may look like visitor has left the chat. So just giving you a heads up. And again, here, this is a good example of a long answer. People if they enter live chat, those people are usually or dealing with multiple things. They don't have patience for us, like a really long answer to wait us, finish our sentence. So please, if you need to write a long response, try pressing enter after every sentence or so, right? So this is something I mentioned at the beginning. It's really important. If there is a valid inquiry, we need to help them, not help us. So to help them, we have to continue the conversation and understand what they need. And then after connecting with the visitor, getting their contact information is our ultimate goal, not giving another sales team's contact information. So as you can see here, well, we shared another DC's name. Even though Katrina and Chris are in the same team, here we should have, get their contact information and create the lead if it is a valid inquiry. So here's another conversation here. Can you guys read those screenshots? Or is it...
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can read them.
All right, perfect. So here, what do we have? So again, another example that, they are asking for a sit to stand. And I understand this is kind of an office lead, but still we should ask their contact information instead of giving the indirect channels contact information. So I would say this is a missed opportunity. But here's the thing, after we get their contact information, feel free to share anyone's contact information from sales team. At least now you have all information you need to create a lead. All right, so this is a great starting. The visitor is asking.
And Matt, on that last one, I think he was inquiring about a quote he already had and was trying to make a change. So if I would have made a lead out of that,
sounds
it
good.
got redundant.
All right, but all right. But still, I've seen a few cases that we're sharing other sales teams' contact information instead of helping them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. So here, again, here, we started with a question. They started the conversation with a valid inquiry about a product, and then we're trying to help them. But honestly, instead of asking them to create the 3D or send them to the 3D configurator, because they are already on live chat, we should have helped them. Because if we send them, there's a chances that they would go through all those steps and then submit at the end, or they won't. So why lose an opportunity that is already on your door? So instead of doing that, instead of sending them to 3D configure, we should, get their contact information, help them, and then after that, if you still feel like you need to share the 3D configure link, then please do so. And here, by the way, we already have the name, but which means we must have the email address somewhere, and we could have just created the lead also, but we didn't. All right. This is why do I share this? Because the visitor comes at 12:24, and then we answer. Hold on. Yeah, we're late to answer, so we're picking it up at 12:41. I believe this is a very unhappy visitor, but the idea is if we are offering a live chat, we need to help people as soon as possible. The faster you respond, the higher the chances to convert that as a lead. My suggested wait time is no longer than 60 seconds. Please do try to answer within 60 seconds, because after 60 seconds, probably those guys are not going to wait, and we're going to lose them. So here's another example of disappearing in the middle of a chat. The visitor asks a question, and then we appear and then don't come back for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or a few minutes. So obviously they're not going to wait that long. All right, here. This is a missed opportunity. Why it is a missed opportunity? Let me check. So they are starting with a question about a computer repair ESD workstation, right? And then we are recommending them to go check gallery or the 3D configure. And we're sharing the generic links to those two tools. I mean, it's great. I mean, we created those website tools for a reason, obviously, but if someone, they can already check those links. They don't need us to tell them again. So if they're on live chat, the best way to handle those conversations is asking questions and understanding their actual need, and then at the right time, ask the contact information and convert into a lead. So that is the best way to handle these type of scenarios.
I do have a comment on that. Is there any way we can make a pop-up for the 3D configurator to kind of weed out, I don't know, like the slower cattle in the scenario? Because sometimes I get people that come in just asking about, like, hey, I'm looking for a maple bench, and it's that much easier for them just to go right to that tool. And a lot of them are happy with that tool, and they're like, oh, wow, that's great, thanks.
I didn't understand the question. Ask again. Let me take a note.
If they could have like almost like a prompt to the 3D tool, like if we could somehow highlight it or make it after 10 or 15 seconds to look at the website, go, boom, would you like to build a standard configuration?
Why would we do that? Well, I'll tell you what, Connor. the conversion rate on a 3D configure is less than 10%. It is around 6%. What it tells me is 6 out of 100 people visiting 3D configure may not click submit on the last page. But the conversion rate on a live chat session is 25%. You are decreasing your chances to convert or to create a lead if you automatically send them to 3D configure. Is that clear? Would that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So they just don't hit submit. They like put it in and they just...
No, unfortunately, no. They go through that live chat session, they stay there, but somehow maybe they're expecting to see a list price at the end of the screen. They don't see it and they just...
They get scared. They get like afraid.
Exactly, because they are afraid that we're going to start spamming their contact information. We're going to start sending so many emails. In fact, we only send once a month. So, you know, whatever their reason, they just don't complete that last step. And that, no matter how effective tool the 3D configure is, it is still not the best answer. The conversion rate is not that high using that tool. Hopefully, we're going to have a few studies this year to improve the conversion rate of that 3D configure tool. But still, the best way is, you know, you helping them through that live chat conversation. And by the way, another data for you, if a person visits any gallery page through their session, visiting our website, the chances to convert increases 4 times. It's not related to the live chat training, but I just wanted to share that data with you guys. So here, okay, we already talked about this. So I'm going to skip on. Let's move on to the next one. So here is an example of not reading their message first and automatically asking, how can I help you today? So just keep it in mind, you know, read it first, and then maybe they typed it while you were typing it. That's a rare and honest mistake. Nothing is a mistake here. Sorry, don't get me wrong. And I'm just sharing the scenarios for the sake of showing you guys examples. I'm not trying to pick on anyone. Please also don't get me wrong and don't get offensive, Connor. It's just sharing an example, okay? And the way, if you start like this, the problem here is we may sound like chatbot. And I personally hate chatting with chatbots because I know the answers that I'm going to get are limited, and maybe that chatbot is connected to their knowledge base and they're going to give me static answers. That's not what I'm looking for. As I mentioned at the beginning of this training, one of the goals here is to make them feel that they are interacting with a real human being and they are being helped. So just saying. All right. So our scenarios is there's not that many left. So what is it here? So again, this is a good example to the name. We already have the name. So, and at the end of this chat, Katrina is sharing her contact information and asking if there's anything else we can help. But actually, we already have the information that we could have just created a lead on NetSuite and follow up with the client, whatever the cycle for those follow-up emails or follow-up contacts. So I'm just saying that this is a lead we left behind. It should have been in NetSuite. All right. Again, this is another scenario. We are here to get their contact information first. If we give our contact information first, we're probably going to lose them because they may or may not contact us. But if we get their contact information first, we for sure have someone to follow up later on. And also, be careful when you're in an active live chat session. You know, don't get distracted and try to be in that conversation. Don't leave that session unattended for more than maybe 30 seconds. So this was this as you can see, there's a 5 minutes delay in answering, so let's be careful with that. All right, so this is pretty much all things that I could have found or share with you guys, but from now on, we'll continue tracking these live chat conversations and create reports for the sales leadership so that they can see the progress on the live chat. But what do we check? We check, sorry, this is an old slide, and we've been doing this for so long. Marketing used to have a larger team, so we used to have more resources to have, to run those kind of reports. Now we have limited resources, but still we try to check leads or live chat sessions randomly. So what do we check? We check if it is a missed opportunity, if it is a lead, and if it is a lead, has it been entered to NetSuite or not? So we check those things. All right. So I'm pretty sure you all have your login credentials, but took longer than I should. Sorry about that, but do you guys have any questions?
Questions? Anyone?
If I haven't used chat before, how do I get set up on it?
What is that?
Matt, who can set up Chris if he hasn't logged into live chat previously?
Yeah, I can do that, or I can have Bayan do it. It's really easy.
Okay. I'll send Chris over to Bayan.
Let me take a note, and then I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, I guess there's no questions, but thank you, Matt. We sure appreciate you.
All right. Hopefully it was helpful enough. And hopefully we're going to hit back to those 40s, 50s, per month. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Bye.